Hi, I'm Bernard with She Hair USA, and today we're going to talk about why we cut the bonds down. The bond comes a particular length. Everybody asks, why does it come so long if we cut it short? Nobody knows the answer. In some countries, and even a few people in this country, they'll use the bond hole, but that tool is a particular width, and you end up having to heat the bond up twice, kind of high and low, to get that bond to soften and melt to where you need it. But most of us trim the bond down so that it fits into the tool. It helps with so many things. It helps it become more comfortable for the client. It stays in just as long as if it was left long. It is less bulky, and it's just faster to apply because you don't have to heat the bond up twice. Now, that can bring you into a little bit of danger of cutting it too short. Some people are cutting it too short, and I'll show you here in just a second how to cut the bond and how short you should cut it. So some of the dangers of cutting the bond too short, because I've done it, is that you can cut it so short that there's not enough keratin to support the hairs in the bond. So then you can have some shedding, the whole bond can slide out, and you don't want that to happen. So let's now go to actually cutting the bonds. So there's 5 bonds across the top of this package here, and then another 5 just under it. So I'm going to cut these first 5 first. Most people would cut each one of these bonds after they were removed from the plastic with a little keratin nipper and cut one at a time. What I would recommend is that if you support all 5 of these with your thumb fairly securely, use an old pair of really sharp cutting scissors and cut across all 5 bonds at the same time. Then you can take them off one by one and hang them on your hair comb rack. Though we use the bonds as whole bonds very often, I want to show you some ways you can customize the bonds just a little bit. Let's pull this in here. We've hung a few on the rack already, but what I want to do is take a bond and cut it in half to show you how we can make 2 out of 1. Just as long as the blade on the nipper is going straight through the center, you can make 2 bonds out of 1, maybe for some finer, thinner hair, or where you want to work a smaller, finer highlight anywhere on the head. But don't hesitate to cut it even more. Let's do this. Let's cut 1 bond into thirds. I would just go a little off the center, cut here, and then a little off center, and cut here. And I would end up with 1, 2, and 3 bonds and have a much smaller piece that I can put on. And then one more time, let's show just a little bit smaller. We can go into 1/4 of a bond. Cut right in the center, cut it again here, and cut again here. We can have 4 very small bonds to place anywhere we need to. So get creative, do whatever you want with these bonds. Just don't cut them too short to start with, but after that, cut as many little bitty ones as you want to join different colors together, to have small ones for doing some creative work. Hope that helps you guys. Check out my other videos.